Right. So actually, I'm going to go to Connor Hackett now. Now, you have a little different view, kind of a perspective on this because you are a producer. You're a lamb producer up in Humboldt County. We went to your place. Beautiful place, beautiful farm. And so what are your thoughts as you listen to all the things you've been hearing today? You know, what is it that you really want to see happen for your operation?
Thanks, Michael. A couple things that I'd like to see happen. One, as it pertains to this event, I would like us to not forget to lose perspective on time scale, how some of these benefits that we want as outcomes for this, that they have to last generation to generation. And in order for us to be truly sustainable as producers, and I know we're going to talk about regenerative agriculture a lot probably in our discussions, but that's not just an ecological function. It also means that business is sustainable. And so profits are sustainable, and so I don't want to lose focus of that. And I don't want to lose focus on the time horizons that are needed as well. Also, so I think we all understand the general why of why we're here. We've heard a lot about that on a broad general level. But for me, it's personal and it's clear. I want to see our region, our North Coast region, be resilient, have a healthy and vibrant community, and attract jobs for young people that want to go into production. And so those are a couple things that the reasons why I am interested in this personally, and my family is. Also, and the reason why I see those things is because that's the kind of place I want to live. That's the kind of place I want to raise my kids. That's the kind of place I want to belong to. And I also want to provide the perspective, which I think a lot of us are going to do on our breakout tables of, you know, I believe that that we should approach some of this from a regional level and talk about how we can work together to achieve scale. And I believe that, you know, on that regional level is where I think the most progress can happen. I'm here representing, like Michael said, Ferndale Farms. It's a sheep operation on my family's 5th generation ranch in Humboldt County. And I'm also here on behalf of a new organization called the Six Rivers Initiative that aims to build a coalition of land stewards and community members on the North Coast to support working lands conservation. And it's kind of a defined by us brand of conservation from that region. So it's a ground up, emergent style of conservation that I hope can become a certification at some point. And again, the goal is to enhance the region's productivity. From a different angle, why I'm here, I just hope that I can help provide a different perspective and listen and be supportive. And so if the question is, how do we build this supply chain to meet this new demand opportunity from the UC system? I think some of the answers are in this room. I know a lot of the people in this room have built great businesses. I know that there's already, you know, beef brands in Humboldt County that I know of that already have aggregation components in their businesses. I know of new processors that are doing amazing work. I know of, you know, distributors that are already doing this work, like Michael mentioned. So if that's the question, then I think we need to lean into those folks that are already doing it and understand how we can increase the scale at those aggregation points. But that doesn't address some of the underlying issues that I think we need to have deeper discussions about, which is at the producer level, you know, threats like land conversion away from agriculture that I think, you know, organizations like the Six River Initiative can help. It's also investments in USDA processing facilities and cold storage. I also want to throw out there that we should consider different alternative forms of ownership and management of those facilities, using nonprofits, using co-ops to work to make the regional producers build something that's truly resilient. And if you have a network of resilient regions that can offer this, and that's the bedrock that's, you know, founded to make something like this happen. In closing, I challenge us in our discussions to think outside the box And I want us to think about building a new track for how we approach these kinds of issues. If we get stuck in the loop of traditional supply chains, producer sells to aggregator, sells to processor, blah, 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 sells to distributor, sells to retailer, that can work and if we're really good at it. But the risk is that reverts back to old ways of doing business. That's kind of economics as usual, right? What that leads to is profit erosion for the producers, centralization and consolidation, and some of those things that we are all here trying to combat and find new ways of new economic models. So I just also want to throw that out there. I'm also concerned that over time, if we do take the traditional approach of transactional approach, that opportunities for smaller producers will get pushed by the wayside. And I don't want to lose sight of the value that they can bring to a system like this. And I don't want to create barriers for entrepreneurs who want to get into the production space on a small scale, because I think that's very important. It's very important for bringing young people into this industry. And it's the thing that's going to propel us into the future. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here, and hopefully we can share our stories as stakeholders in this and find some solutions.
Great. Thanks, Connor.